Babes, yeah. Yeah, right? What you mean by your Annie? Your Annie? Oh, yeah, think about me. But say a side chicken, you're not supposed to think about me like that.
Okay, everyone. Welcome back to the show. 1C Jamaican Online Radio. Hope you guys enjoy the music we just played. As my host, Lady C mentioned earlier, the topic is all about side chick and a wife. I mean, I really love my side chicks. I'm not gonna lie about that. I love my side chicks. Side chicks give good brains, so to speak. I mean, we're on the radio now, so we can't talk about certain things, but side chicks give good brains. I mean, Lady C, what do you think about side chick thing and the wife thing? What do you represent?
I am definitely team wife. I feel that if there's a need to have a side chick, then you should not have a wife.
Side chick give you the 6'10", the 6'15", the 6'30", 6'45". I mean, the wife, some of the wife, not all of the wife. Some of the wife, they only give you the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. I mean, the side chicks, them go all around the clock, you get me? So, I mean, I think that's some of the reason why the side chicks are more relevant in society nowadays. I mean, you get me? So, that's just my opinion, you get me?
I get your opinion. I hear you. I feel like side chicks are simply entertainment for a man. In most cases. Because sometimes they want to be entertained, as you say, around the clock. And they fill that role of the around-the-clock entertainment. So is their role really that important? Maybe to them they feel like it's important. Maybe they feel like they're working towards, graduating from the level they're on, improving or increasing their status to a higher level, maybe eventually to become girlfriend or wife. But then you have to wonder, will he have a side chick behind your back? Or, I mean, is it really going to be all that you think it's going to be for you?
So the side chicks, what do you think they perform such a significant role in the man's life? You think these side chicks, they want to work their way from being a side chick to being a wife? Because, I mean, these side chicks, oh my, they go all the way out. I mean, I used to have a lot of side chicks. A lot. And they do some things, oh boy, I can't even talk it on the radio. But, I mean, do you think, from a woman point of view, do you think these side chicks over the radio were from a side chick to become a wife?
I think most of them, yes, definitely. There's some that maybe have their own man or their own husband and they just want something extra on the side because maybe he's not satisfying them, or maybe something's going on in their relationship, or maybe he's gone a lot, whatever the case is. But I definitely think that that she would like to graduate to becoming the girlfriend or the wife in most cases. Definitely, I think that's the goal. It's like a competition thing. They do all these things to entertain the man because they're hoping that, they can outdo the wife or the girlfriend and eventually have her position.
Yeah, definitely. So the next thing, do you think the wife, when they become a wife, they become more comfortable and relaxed in the relationship? They're not wearing the little sexy on the river again, the little sexy brassiere them and the little sexy dress them again. So do you think they become more relaxed or more reluctant in the relationship? So the man start to look out elsewhere. What are your thoughts on that?
To be honest with you, I don't think it matters what a woman does or wears, how she has her hair, how she wears her makeup. If a man wants to seek side chicks, he's going to do that regardless of how wonderful she is. I mean, it's sad to say, but I find that men can be very ungrateful in a lot of circumstances when it comes to a relationship, and unappreciative as well. So it doesn't matter how great she is, the things she does for him, the things she sacrifices for him, how much she loves him. He still will find a way to do his his ill duties. I mean, if you think about maybe a lizard, for example, you can keep your doors and your windows locked all the time. They'll always find some way to get in. Same thing with a roach or whatever the case is. It's the same thing. So a man is going to do what he wants to do regardless of what you're doing with yourself or what you're doing in the relationship. I feel that, that's a personal decision he has to make to not want to do things behind your back.
Yeah, so I get the impression that you're saying some of these men, they just cannot satisfy. They just cannot satisfy. You could go on the bed, on the tabletop, on the fan top, on the dresser top, wherever you go, they just still gonna go all the way to find some extra pleasure and entertainment in the relationship. That's what you're saying. Some man just, no matter what you do, you can't please them.
Yes, I definitely think that that's a true statement. It doesn't matter what you do. They just will never be satisfied. They can't be pleased. And that's a personal issue with them. That's really what I think it boils down to.
Yeah. But it's sad to say, but a lot of females, I mean, they're comfortable being a side chick. A lot of females, they don't want to be no wife or anything, they're comfortable being a side chick because at the end of the day, they are saying the wife money I will have to share with them, and they don't have to do this and they don't have to do that. The wife is home doing all the work and the side chick are just having sex and collecting the man money, So they're comfortable being a side chick.
There are a lot of women that are like that, yes. I can agree from the things that I've heard and read about and things I hear in songs. I think that those types of women, they probably have more than one guy that they're involved with. So, their emotional attachment level is almost zero. In addition to that, I think that those women, they just care more about survival and they don't really have emotions involved. They move with strategy. They don't move with emotion. So those types of women, like I said, they don't necessarily want to graduate to a higher level. They just care about getting whatever they can get for themselves so that they can maintain whatever it is that they want to maintain financially.
I mean, to be honest, some of these side chicks, they're very sexy and they're very beautiful. I mean, definitely. Some of them, not all of them, Because as I said, and sometimes these men spend more time with even the side chick than the wife. Because some of these men, they will leave from work and then they stop at the side chick home before they go to the wife. So whenever they go home to the wife, they're tired. And they're not able to.
I've heard of somebody doing that.
Perform the wife duty for the wife when they get home. You get me? So.
Yeah, I've heard of somebody doing that before. Somebody that I know actually, that they have, they've been in a situation like that where they would stop to their side chick's home first before coming home, or even in the middle of the day while they're at work, they would go to the woman's, place of residence. So it's interesting.
Definitely. Well, a lot of, as I said before, I used to have a lot of side chicks, before thank God I met you and my life has changed, So I mean, I no longer know what it feels like to have a side chick,
That sounds like it's a good problem to have, I would say.
So yeah, so just one of them things, but I mean, definitely it's just a life-changing experience, you get me? So, I mean, it would be interesting to know what our listeners think about the side chicks and the wife situation, because, I mean, as I said before, a lot of these people, these young girls nowadays, they like to be entertained with these side chick things and, boss and the wife and say, may I take your man and all these stuff and,
Yeah.
They're very happy to do that.
Definitely. Well, we're going to take a little music break, and later on for our listeners, we have a caller, or a guest speaker, if you will, that's going to kind of share some of their insight on the topic of side chicks and wives. So we'll just take a little music break. You guys, we'll be back with you very shortly. Just sit back and enjoy. Hello, everyone, and good night. Welcome back to our segment. We're talking tonight about side chicks and wives. It's your girl, Lady C, and my handsome co-host, Mixup Skoolaz in the house. We want to introduce to you guys our guest speaker for tonight. He's going to be sharing with us his insights on the topic of side chicks and wives. Welcome, Damani. Thank you for joining us.
Blessed Sunday, Lady C, and also Skoolaz. Blessed Sunday. And thanks also for being on your show as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, my brother. So, what is your take on the topic? Knowing that you're supposed to be have some of that experience before along your lifetime. What is your take?
Alright, so honestly, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Well, the good part would be because based on how me and the other half is basically feeling towards each other, the side chick sometimes come in play and also make me feel a different way, give me a better feeling so I can able to probably speak with my other half better, have a better relationship with her.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All depends on the energy that I'm getting from my other half. That's where the side chick would come in play to be the positive side a little. But if the side chick sometimes tend to want to come in and take over, that's the bad side.
Yeah, definitely. But for me personally, I think the side chick them give you a better vibe sometimes, like give you a better ride, better brain, better everything, so to speak.
Yeah, sometimes because you see, most of the side chick them love the role, because them not have to wash, cook and clean. They only just provide service, and collect them to get,
Exactly.
But some of the side chick them basically hard. It's when the other half a side chick, sometimes them go through the same experience. They have a man, them not get the vibes. So sometimes we become probably like friends with benefits then. But all regards are just sexual benefits.
Yeah. Lady C, what do you have to say on that?
I think it sounds like it makes sense from Damani's perspective, from anybody's perspective, I guess. In a situation like that where a side chick feels that she is getting whatever it is that she may want or need without having to do a certain type of work for it, she's still doing something for it. You know what I mean? It's not like she's not doing anything. But my question is, Damani, what do you think about some side chicks that are doing those things and they're not even getting any money? They're just getting sex alone. What do you think about those types of situations?
It all depends on, as I said, it all depends on their other side, because you have most women have a rich guy, but the rich guy now please them in bed. So she tend to say, you know what, might as well have someone we can get, like she can get something that she's not getting from her other half. She get everything but not good romance, which indeed that other half, which would be the side man, basically giving her like that. She don't probably need no money. It all depends on the fact that man or men supposed to always giving the woman money. So if she just takes service without no money, she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. That's a good point there. That lead us back to our topic that we have last night. Major Ive is a very rich guy, but he's just not good in bed, So therefore, Kirby will have to go out and get some other dicks and other stuff. So therefore, you have a valid point there, definitely.
Well, my question for you, Damani, is this: what if it's a situation where the woman knows that she's a side chick because she has her own man, which I kind of mentioned that in the beginning of the show tonight. But what if she knows that she's a side chick, she has another man, and she's okay with her role? Does she have the room or the right to get upset about the man spending time with his woman or putting her first sometimes, or just the fact that he has a woman at all? I mean, there's some side chicks that get upset about the fact that the guy has a woman and he's giving her time and, sex and even money, but she already has a man and she's just a side chick. What do you think about those situations?
All right, in that case now, my response to that would be, is some of the female side chick, when they do have issues, or it starts from jealousy. Because guess what? You see, the main thing is most relationship, 50% that covers the relationship would be sex. If you're not a good sex performer, it's going to be a problem. But if you have a side man on the side and she's getting good sex, obviously, like, 80% she's going to get jealous. Because at the start, she never expect that she's going to be feeling jealous. It's just sex, enjoy sex. But feelings start to develop. And from feelings start to develop, love start to develop, she's going to start feeling and getting jealous. Which indeed, you can't kill her for that. You can't run her because she'll get feelings. She'll get attached. It's just that she understands. Yeah, it's just that she understands, so listen, this is how it started, and it can't go further than that. You can't come between me and my other half. Me not come between you and your other half. We're enjoying ourselves. Let's just enjoy ourselves. That's it.
Definitely, Dama. You touch the nail on the head there, because we don't want to say lick the nail on the head. You touch the nail on the head there, but definitely, because I was in a situation like that, with a side chick. Explain everything to her, tell her that I have a wife and everything, so we just have some fun, and then she just start fall in love until eventually she wants to mash up my relationship, so I have to just cut her off, so that's a valid point you have there, brother. Definitely.
I may go cheat already, like, I met this female where before we start talking, I don't know tattoo my other half name. The moment I tattoo my other half and my name, it start become a problem. Everything start become because I put my other half name on me, and also my bed now, based on how I do it, I put her name in the bed head. She have a problem with it. Them little thing there now push me away, and I say, come on. You have your other half. Yeah, you have your other half, and me now go try to come with you because me understand. So the side chick thing, I think it's more about understanding and respect.
Definitely.
Well, Damani and Skoolaz, that leads back to my original statement in the beginning of the show when I said to you guys that eventually the side chick will want to become the wife. She would want her role to be more enhanced. Because even if you don't plan to leave your husband or your boyfriend or whatever the case is, you still don't have the right to, to increase your level to the point where you can dictate what the side man can do and what he cannot do. That means that you're trying to enhance your role as a side chick. To some degree, she wants some level of enhancement in her role.
Yeah, that's definitely. So, Damani, you don't think that the side chicks, the wife, when they become wife, they get more comfortable. They're not doing the things they used to do before. So that's when the side chick get the advantage and get the opportunity to come into my life. They're not dressing sexy again, they're not wearing the sexy panty, they're not doing those stuff. That's when the side chick get the opportunity to really step in. What do you think?
Alright, and I'm so happy that you touched that point because I think it was a week ago or a couple of days I had this conversation with my mom because I was sharing something about her in the past. So this is what happens sometimes. It's because she have her own, right? She have her man, you have your own female on your side. She would tend to give you everything 100% because she over there so you over there so. The reason why she can't do it is because we have each other, couple of our probably everybody even up them. You see, moment when she gets in, that's where everything's gonna change because if you're the only one now, she become wife now, you're gonna see all changes there because the difference is that she had someone so she gonna treat you better because you're a side man. But soon as they become wife, they start to change and you cannot always expect that. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Just like when you're married, things start to change as soon as you get married. If that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. So, Lady C, your Damani point of view. You have any more questions you want to throw at him?
Well, yeah, I don't know if Damani, if you've ever seen this movie. It's called Why Did I Get Married? Part 1, I believe they made this statement. Have you seen it before?
No, not sure.
Okay. Well, it's a Tyler Perry movie. And it's 4 couples that travel, they do couples trips, I guess, once a year. And they, I guess, build and try to nurture their bond as husband and wife, with other couples. Because they all have something in common. They're all married. And basically there was a scene, or there was, a couple where the husband was cheating on the wife. And he actually brought his side chick with him and his wife to their trip. The wife thought that the girl was her friend and he was having a relationship with her on the side for however long, we don't even know. But the thing is, he ended up, leaving his wife for this woman. And then the woman, she ended up, losing weight and getting back sexy again. She met another guy. She moved on. And here, a year or two later, after all this scandal happened with the two of them on their couples trip, he was looking at her like, wow, that was my wife. I still have feelings for her, whatever the case is. And he realized that this thing that they mentioned in the movie called the 80-20 rule, he realized that he gave up his 80 for his 20. And the 80-20 rule that was mentioned was basically, in your marriage, you get 80% of what you need from your spouse. And you get the 20% that your wife is not giving you from the side chick. So basically, it's a matter of, do you want the 80% or do you want the 20%? Which one means more to you? And he left his wife for the 20% and realized that he really wasn't getting a lot of what he needed. I mean, you really can't get every single thing in one person. It's a little bit, nobody's perfect, so you're not going to get every single thing in one person. So he felt like the 20% was worth more, and he realized later on that, gosh, I left more than what I gave up my wife for to get. So that's my thoughts on that. Like, what is more valuable to you? Because at some point, it's going to blow up. At some point, the side chick is going to want more. She's going to get feelings. She's going to become, she's going to start mix-up. She's going to start drama. Even though she has no right to do that and she knew what the situation was at first, they usually want to become, they want to improve or graduate their role.
Okay, all right. First thing, the importance of being a side man or a side chick is because obviously you're not letting go of your other half to be with that person. Mm-hmm. So it's just for fun. It's just for convenience in certain sense, because I definitely would not leave at 80% for a 20%, because listen, if you're with a female, for example, my other half is, let's say, she's 40 years old, and I met a girl that is 25. But because my 40-year-old fiance is basically getting old, she started to dress different. That female that is 20 years old, when she reaches that age, she's definitely is going to dress just the same, because age is catching up. So looks and all that do change. So in a sense, basically, I got should I put it there? You're gonna cheat because that person look better, she look younger, because she's gonna get old one day. Just the same. So me now go actually, I rather to be with somebody when me know much and actually grow with understanding and all, because to cut off that 80%, you know how much you got, hard you have to go work for that 20% to beat that 80. It may never reach there. So time and time you're gonna be searching, because when you leave that 80% for that 20, you realize what you have lost. It's gonna take you more years to catch up to have that 80% that you can't even catch that 80 again. So getting older lead you to probably being single and things like that. So me definitely not if 20%, not if 80%, not 20%.
Definitely, have some valid point there, man, definitely. So, I'm 100% for the side chicks. I like my side chicks and all that. So, I'm not gonna give up on them. I know I'm gonna get a lot of bashing on the ear, but I do like my side chicks. But thank you for joining us for the show, Damani. We appreciate your insight on the show. Definitely.
And it was, thanks as well for having me on the show, and it's a pleasure to be there. And Lady C and Skoolaz, I like the movement, and you guys keep it up, right?
Thank you. You're welcome. We're so glad to have you, Damani.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
Okay, listeners, don't move that channel. Don't move that channel. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we're gonna have the female insight on the topic. So we'll be right back. Okay, listeners, welcome back to our show. As I said before the break, we're gonna have a female insight on the show, and this female is Janelle. Actually, we have Janelle. She's representing as a side chick on the show. So Janelle, as you heard about the topic is all about wife and side chick. So we know you're representing as a side chick. So what are your take on this side chick and the wife situation?
Well, my take is you have to have a side chick at some point, because stuff that the wife don't do, the side chick has to rough it up. You know what I say?
Yeah, definitely. So sexy up the thing and bad up the thing. I don't know your wife, some of my wife them start in a bed in a sim. So you want the side chick, man, them love the side chick who can rough up the thing. And
Yeah,
do
man,
the things they
all out. But the wife don't wear, she don't wear eyelash, we wear eyelash.
Yeah.
You broke off so neck. I remember going to no can get we get the good money, you know.
Definitely.
When you never gone with wifey, we have to feel better, go and relax.
Definitely. So, Lady C, do you have anything? What you have any question for our guest here?
No, I'm actually just listening right now. This is a very interesting perspective. She says that that side chicks are necessary and a man has to have one at some point. So I'm actually, a listening ear and learning a lot about this perspective. I very seldom get to speak with someone from a side chick from a side chick position. So it's very interesting. I did speak with a side chick once, but she actually communicated to me, 2 times. There was one that told me that the guy was giving, she was giving the guy money, and she wasn't getting anything out of the relationship except spending the night at his house, 2 or 3 times a week. And then the other one said that he was her man, and even though he had a woman already, she was saying that he's her man. So those are the 2 perspectives I've had from, 2 different side chicks. So this is a different one for me.
So,
Never be a side chick and you want my money, then me a phone.
the main purpose of the side chick is to receive the money, right?
First, and take the man nice. Make sure the man come home and lay down and bread spread and boy shirt take off and boy nice and clean and everything and take care of boy. Give boy the good loving and everything and money I feel like before I go home. So the side chick role, enough for me to pay him. I have to pay me. I'm gonna have a wife, and she's supposed to please him, not me.
Yeah. So what are some of the roles that the side chick play in the relationship? Like, what are some of the roles? Those side chicks supposed to wash clothes and cook and clean and all this stuff? Are they just?
If you left one clothes over your yard, then yes. But if not, I know my job that's a wife's job. My job is to keep him happy, comfortable, feed him, give him good food, out of the same pocket to buy the money to buy the food and not my money. To feed him, make sure him come and get the good loving, take care of him, better nice and clean and everything, give him all of the good things them, the good wine, the good loving, everything, you know me I say? Sweet him up.
Yeah.
When him get home, me not ask if him not sneak and go take a one text, not the bathroom text me, Definitely. So the loving make him have to come back. Him not let me tell you something. Me that side chick for years, all over 10 years I know me that side chick. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And are you comfortable being a side chick?
Very comfortable. Me know say I have a wife, me know my space, know my limit, know my time to call him. And that's what I say. So when I go to Botina and see the wife and choose 2 and I go and myself, I keep myself in one little clean. If you see the party, man, what man, you're good. That's it.
Well, you know what, Janelle, it sounds like a lot.
No wife do.
It sounds like a lot of side chicks don't know how to keep their role in perspective. That's what I've been.
A lot don't know. A lot don't know. A lot just believes that them to see the wife and disrespect, and they must call any time. But a side chick be know her role, know when to call, when to text, when to man. Because it's a list, It's like you have a work schedule, after the side chick schedule set out, She will know her limits and her timing then, you understand me?
Janelle, sometimes the guy, believe it or not, sometimes the guy doesn't tell the side chick that she's a side chick. He makes her think she's the only one. Maybe because he doesn't see his woman as often. Maybe they could be in a long distance relationship. But there's some times where the guy makes the woman think that she's his only woman. I mean, what's your take on that?
My thing is, with my being a side chick, my man have a long distance relationship. Because the wife come every now and then, you understand me? But when she's here, I know my can, I know my limit, know my place. But when she's not around, I know say I'm supposed to call and do the things then. But when she's around, I go keep myself. And when I'm calling and tell me say, the course free, like she there work now, you can come over or whatever, I know. But not make she know, because right now years that she don't even know. And her years no.
Definitely.
I'm not trying to disrespect her because me not too like her, because I don't like no girl, But you're saying, You have to respect her because You know, she have a ring for that. I mean, I know.
But this is the thing.
Yeah.
I've seen situations where the woman has the ring on the finger, the wife or the woman or girlfriend, whatever, fiance, and the side chick knows this, and she still carries on crazy. And there's times where the man tells her constantly that the wife is just a family friend, or she's a business associate, business partner, whatever the case is. I mean, there's many times where, the side chick doesn't even know she's a side chick because the guy is manipulating her.
He that man. I mean, like if me have a husband right now, and me, they're going to have another man. You don't make the other man know, say me have a husband. Why hide it? They don't respect the woman then. Because if him go hide her and say, okay, she's a relative or she's a this and that, it might give the side chick power over the wife.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
And guess what? I've seen it happen before, Janelle. So trust me.
Yeah, them know them every side chick know them place. Man life, and that's why some side chick, have some real good money, and make them slip out of their hand because them too enough. They want front up like them and wife them for them my name side chick. So I tried to disrespect no wife.
Yeah, somebody side chick them don't know them space. You get me? Because me did have a side chick, Me did have a side chick recently, the girl just want ups in my thing. I've done tell her say me have my wife and thing, but she still want to come mash up the life. You see me? She don't know herself.
She too right. She to get left at one place. She too right. Never you try to take over a woman position, because you see, a woman and a man there for years, them build this empire together. And nobody believes that a girl go make another woman can just walk in and take her they have. Some of them yes divorce and so forth, but if me make my man divorcing wife, my life now better, because what you that they go through as a wife, me not go take it up for myself and I go through it as a wife, and him go pick up another girl and put me as wife and she as side chick.
Definitely.
Some girl if you know them space as a side chick. You can be a side chick but have manners. Girl if you have manners.
Side chick you know them space, you get me?
If me call my man phone, tell me call my man phone. And the wife answer. Me block my number and me call him phone and me hang up now.
Yeah man, I hang up. Are you actually Kingston Public Hospital? Are you actually something like that?
Me not asking nobody, me hang up.
My question is, why not avoid
a woman's voice? Once she hear a woman's voice, she go know say, a lie the woman that tell her something when you call. You understand me?
My question is, why not just not pick up the side chick and avoid all the potential drama in the first place? Because these things, they cannot last. I know you said it's been 10 years, but at some point, there's going to be something that comes out. Like everything that happens in the dark comes into the light at some point.
To be honest, women cannot do without side chicks. To be honest.
If you come to the light, we willing to face it, but here I know me like the side chick, me good.
Yeah, you feel more comfortable.
I can't take it back a husband business and someone look at my face every day and go on it and sell. Me can't take that.
Yeah, you like a freedom.
Give me a space that you can't do it. You know what I say?
Yeah, definitely.
Skoolaz, I have
You mentioned that when the wife is here, you relax and try to keep calm and stuff. So during that time, you don't feel like lonely and don't feel like you want to call him or feel like you miss him or anything. How you feel, boy?
You know, so me always miss him and thing, but me know saying go call me. Because day and pass, all 2-3 times a day, I go find a way to call me. I go left her in the bed all night and go to the bathroom and call me. A regular thing, me know this.
Oh.
So you know, saying, if she come today, me not see the first 2 days, but you see the third day, me I see him. I'm going to find a way to see me and spend a couple hours.
So you guys have a code that you work with, like, I mean, since your wife there, you have a code, like, when you use a code, like, what kind of code do you use? I don't just, what? I want to do that. She like,
I use no code, I just wait for him to call me. And then
you don't call?
No, me not do it, because me not disrespect no wife. Me not do it, I don't mash up nobody's life. But even though me in the life already, me still can mash it up, but me not go out of my way to mash it up. That's not
mash it up. Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, definitely. So Candice, you hear what Janelle is saying. Definitely. So you still hold on to the wife thing. You don't believe in the side chick thing, none at all.
I'm sorry, but I don't. Not at all. I really don't. It's just not something that I'm in the corner with. My question for you, School, is how do you feel about your woman having a side man?
My woman having a side man?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, me not gonna feel comfortable with that. You get me?
Why?
As long as you don't know.
Yeah, if me know it, gonna be a big problem. But if me don't know, well, it can go on. But when me know, it's gonna be a serious issue. Cause me not gonna work with that. Me gonna live out a relationship, and definitely me not gonna feel comfortable to know if a man I deal with my woman behind my back. You get me? But as I
and
said,
possibly even better behind your back. That's a possibility too.
Possibility better.
Mm-hmm.
So.
A man sick.
But the woman them slicker, you get me? So.
I can't say that, yeah.
But as me I say, man cannot do without side chick. Women cannot do without side chick because as me say, no matter how the woman love you, and you still gonna have one girl out the road you want to chop.
So then why not just be single so you can have all the side chicks you could ever imagine and dream of?
As me say, you're gonna have one woman who you rate, but you still gonna have one.
For real.
You're gonna have one girl out the road where you chop, you say, yeah, I'm a little chop of that. You get me?
But but you could risk losing her because let's say she finds out and she says she's not down with that and she's going to leave you alone. She's not going to be a part of the threesome or the 3-party movement. She just wants you to herself. Why should she have to share if she told you in the beginning of the relationship that she's not okay with that? You can't force her to accept that type of relationship if she's not okay with it.
No, you cannot force her. But as Janelle said, the man is married and the man's still interested in her because, I mean, as I said, the side girl them just give her different vibes. And
yeah, she gives you entertainment. I realize that.
I forgot all what you know. I forgot all.
Yeah, different energy.
The sex, the negligence,
yeah.
Beer as it here and money itself. You know what I'm saying?
The Ponder and all those things and the jeans thing and all this.
Side chick don't dress up like a granny. Side chick have to act every day.
Yeah, side chick don't wear bingo and all them things. You know, but you
can't wear that.
My wife and can't bend down and touch them toe. Then can't get 6:30. Then I'll be at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Them again. You get me?
Side chick don't do that.
Side chick at 6:30, 2:45, 3:45. Them full of vibes. You get me?
No. Like true.
You know, there was a news, maybe like a radio show I had heard a few years ago. It was a singer and his girlfriend, they broke up. And she wrote a book on their relationship. And she said to the radio host that it didn't matter what she did, hanging from the ceiling, wearing G-strings. She was a very sexy black woman. And she was doing everything he could have ever wanted. He still cheated. He still left her. And he ended up moving on and he got married to the side chick and ended up cheating on the side chick. So at the end of the day, I mean, it sounds to me like he needed to probably be single from the beginning and let everybody know, look, I'm not here for this type of commitment. I just want A, B, C, and D and whatever. And let the woman decide if she wants to be okay with that or not. Because even though the woman was sexy, his first kid's mother, the one that was doing all these, off the wall things with him sexually, he still wasn't satisfied.
Well, like Skoolaz said, every man need a side chick. I know it's sexy. I mean, listen, being together with a man for a long period of time when I'm married, have kids and everything, the man sometimes need a new touch. So it's not like he must still want his wife, But he need a little spunk, a little spice, a little something.
Yeah,
so it's not like he love the wife, but he need a little.
You made a good point. You said if they're married for a while, what if they've only been engaged or in a relationship for 2 to 3 years and he does that? What's your take on that?
Well, my take on that is I don't really rate her because you don't reach nowhere. You don't reach nowhere yet.
That's a good thank you. That's a good point. That's a good point. That happens too.
No, but what if just I mean, men are weak to the flesh. You get what I'm saying? So what if you just like you can still forgive your partner? Because I mean, if you're gonna marry to the person, I mean, you're not gonna make one little side chick just around because a little one slam you mash up the whole entire relationship. Yeah?
If she find out how to talk about it and she's willing to move past it and you make that side chick go in one place.
Yeah.
But I think when engaged to somebody, and getting to, get married and, getting to know the person. I think the relationship will go a little distance before the man start to fling,
That sounds about right. I mean, it shouldn't happen at all, but definitely not during that time. I mean, that's very early.
So Janelle, me like me see you represent your side chick thing. But before you go, Janelle, we want to touch a little thing with the major hype thing and the curvy thing. What do you think about curvy and major hype? What you think curvy was just a little bitch or something like that? What do you think?
She was just in it for the money. She not in it to love the man. She don't love the man because you could never. Look, I mean, major hype probably have a little. Fault, I don't know, I'm just saying, but unless she's a whore, because so much man.
Yeah.
That is a side whore, no, that's not side chicken, that's a side chicken. I really think about it. So much man.
Definitely.
Everyone catch it.
Everyone catch.
See, man, I beat her face with all the food and go on the cell, and she got off fight like some beast. No, man, that's a whore, man. No, not real life. That girl don't want no man.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the same thing I said on the last episode. She doesn't want anybody.
I really rate her. I made her fan still, but she could have a one man panic card, but why so much?
Exactly.
Many men, but
I'm still broke and they look go for me. They want money, all of them sitting there.
It sounds to me that she's the perfect type of side chick, because what did we just say? She doesn't want a man, she just wants to just be whorish.
Yeah, man, she don't want nobody.
So you think he does that use major?
Use major hype for the hype and the money. And my major hype in me, enough. But I'm becoming side chick still, but money using. Come in and love him off. I think look alright.
But according to Kirby, there is nothing in major hype pants. So I mean, I don't know if that could have been the big issue.
Listen, something I think in there.
But something in there. Something in there, but they need like a magnifying glass to see it.
Allegedly.
I don't believe that one day. I don't believe it. Every man finds there is something, and we women have to know how to work it. But I can't. If a man tomorrow is something not so right, and so man, I'm not gonna leave him because this and that. Because here right now, it's all your work with the thing, It's not a matter of size, because sometimes some people have size and can't do a damn thing with it. So even if she go come and say nothing to the man pants, something in there.
But not something in there. Something in there, but it's not satisfy Kirby. It's not satisfy Kirby.
She just not she love enough thing different.
Yeah, I agree. I think even if he had a lot in there, enough for probably 2 or 3 Kirby's, I still don't think it would satisfy her.
Yeah, man, no, but can't satisfy she. Because listen, we see her run 4, 5, 6, 6 days. Right now, one would have 100 more left to come out.
That's the same thing. I'm wondering, where's the rest of them?
Definitely.
But people like that should be a side chick. I was very surprised to learn that she was doing those things and the man was considering, wifing her, because that's not, you don't.
The man love her.
I know.
So it's a thing now where a lot of men, him say she cheat. No, I can't she say him cheat. No, even if he not cheat, I still she did love him. Because you realize him buy the car, him buy the this, him buy the that and everything. And the end of the day, want the wife her. But she not satisfied with me.
Yeah, definitely.
She want all of the man them for herself. She don't check up anywhere and take something. Anywhere she gets. And that's what she...
So in a situation like that, we allege that Major don't have anything in her pants. What?
Thank you. Something is there.
No, yeah, we're not saying nothing is in there, but it's not satisfying. But if you have a man, Janelle, and him something like that, huge or whatever, what are some of the things you can do to make you would you cheat on him, or you just sit with him and not getting any satisfaction from him sexually? Would you cheat on him?
I don't think I cheat. I don't even know. I think I cheat for him though. But at the end of the day, I find a way to spunk up the drive, make the thing go
fine. No, but I mean, if you
romantic.
No, but if you lick and you not satisfy you, it will lead if you go cheat. You get me?
Then if you not have in a waist, you must have in a face, then you must get it. way, no way. And it's not all about the nails now, because your face are going good.
Yeah.
If it's a major, I don't have it in the waist, I know I have it in the face. Look at those lips.
So you say him should have tried to do something else, see?
Who's saying they try?
Yeah, all that too.
I think he tried a lot of things to make her happy. He said it. Yeah.
That's what she went.
Definitely. So definitely we enjoy talking to our guest here tonight. Janelle, we thank you for joining us on the show tonight. And
My pleasure being here. Pick up yourself, Candice, your wife. Pick up yourself, your wife.
Thank you. Big up yourself. Thank you, and good luck with your side relationship. Thank you, Janelle.
All right.
Okay. Blessings. Bye-bye.
So we're gonna take another break now. So we'll be right back with another guest for the night. So we'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Bye-bye. This is Lady C, and you're listening to 1C Jamaican Online Radio. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is your girl, Lady C.
And Mixup Skoolaz.
We are talking today about side chicks and wives. We have a hot topic. We've been speaking with a few guests about the topic. We spoke with Damani to get the male perspective on side chicks. We spoke to Janelle to get the female perspective on side chicks. And we have a guest speaker by the name of Sharice who's going to speak to us from the wife perspective on side chicks. So we have a very interesting topic that we want to kind of go over and just kind of get a little bit of understanding on, you know, their role. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Sharice the question. Sharice, what do you think about the role of side chicks as they relate to marriages and relationships?
I think that side chicks are considered non-essential workers. And just like in the COVID, the essential workers did their job and they did what they're supposed to do. And the non-essential people had no place. So I think that's the role of the side chick. They don't have a place in a marriage.
That's a very, very interesting way that you put that. Non-essential worker. Wow. That's heavy.
You know, they don't have any real benefits. They don't really have any real purpose. Or I wouldn't say real purpose, but they're not in demand. They're not needed necessarily. They're more for fun versus, you know, essential. They're just on the side.
Yeah, but from a man point of view, Sharice, you're saying they're not important or they're not essential. From a man point of view, they're looking at it at a different angle. We as men, we look at side chicks as very essential and very important. You get me?
Yeah, I mean, more important than the wife. I don't think they're more important than the wife. You know, wife offers...
They're not more important than the wife, but they're very important, so to speak.
And they're important because what benefits do they really give the man? We talked about the 80-20 rule, Sharice, just to catch you up to speed with Damani earlier, which, if you remember from the movie, I don't know if you've seen it, I think it was called Why Did I Get Married? A Tyler Perry film. They mentioned something in the movie, some of the characters, about an 80-20 rule, where you get 80% from your wife of what you need in a relationship and 20% from the side chick. So my question to Skoolaz, in relevance to what you just stated about them being non-essential, if you get 80% and from your wife or your girlfriend and 20% from the side chick, you risk losing the 80%. So what actually is it really that you're getting that's worth you losing the 80%?
Yeah, you miss losing something, but at the end of the day, as I said, men like catchy stuff. They like excitement. They like, you know, they like.
I mean, the wife can be exciting. I think that if the man expresses his desires and his goals and has the type of conversations that he should be having with his wife, then she can fulfill all of the things that he's looking for as a partner, as a friend, as a side chick. She can play that role. The wife has many hats. That she can have.
That's true, but you have to remember that some of the wives, they're not very adventurous, so to speak. They decide to go under the bed, on the top of the roof, on the treetop, you know, all these stuff.
Yeah.
So
I I mean, I would agree with that. But I also say that goes back to choosing a wife. You know, a man chooses the type of wife that he wants. So if your wife is boring, you pick the boring wife.
Yeah. That's true. But I mean, you're not gonna. I mean, if you're boring before you get married, I mean, knowing that, so you have to try to do some stuff to try to keep the man happy and keep him enticing. You get me, so to speak. You're not gonna bring over your boring life from in the relationship come over to the married life. You know, you have to try to change it.
I think too that a lot of times the man thinks that a marriage is going to change the woman's personality or change the type of person that she is, and the expectations are different. A man is expecting something different during marriage. When you're dating is the trial, is the test. How the person is in marriage, if you think they're boring in the dating stage, then it should have never crossed to the point of marriage. Just because she's a good woman doesn't mean that it's for you to occupy her for the rest of her life. You know, if you want somebody that's fun, if you want somebody that's a certain type of way, that's what you should be looking for in the dating stage. So that way there's no need for a side chick if you're doing your due diligence and doing what you're supposed to do in looking for looking for a wife that will fit you.
Definitely. And my question to you, Shay, is why you think men are so unfaithful? They cannot just see a woman and say, okay, I'm gonna marry and have a faithful relationship, committed relationship. Why do you think these men nowadays have to keep on going with other women, going around? Why do you think that?
I think that there are some faithful men. I think there are
but not a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all of them are faithful, but I would say that as far as having a wandering eye, it's not everything that you see you must get, everything that you see you must touch. And I think that sometimes men see a woman who has a great presentation, and meaning physically, or, you know, she may be beautiful, have a great body or something along those lines. And a guy is tempted to touch. And it's not, and you know, sometimes you're tempted to touch and you touch fire.
Yeah.
So I don't know why a man is so easily attracted to something beautiful, but I mean, most people are, but that doesn't mean you have to touch everything that you see, that you like.
Yeah, definitely. Some interesting point there.
And then just to go back to the 80-20 thing, you know, I think there's a song that says the grass is green where you water it. I'm not sure who sings that song, but I'm pretty sure there's a song like that.
Yeah, I heard that song before, but I don't remember who actually sang it. Definitely. Yeah. So, the next thing I want to ask you again, I mean, I used to have a lot of side chicks, you know? I can't stop emphasizing on that. I used to have a lot of side chicks, like over 300 side chicks. But gone are those days. I mean, I don't have those things again. But why do you think the side chick tend to get more respect than the wife? Why do you think that?
I don't think that the side chick gets more respect per se. I think what it is that when you're engaging with a side chick, she has no obligation to you, so she puts all of her expectations on the table. Listen, my bills need to be paid. I don't care about your wife. I have kids that need to be fed. I don't care about your bills. And so it's a different level of quote unquote respect, because she's putting her standards out there. Listen, if you want to do this with me and you want to keep me quiet, you got to pay me off. You got to do what you got to do to keep me quiet. So it's not necessarily about respect. Maybe it's about fear. Maybe it's about, you know, just satisfying the person just until you get what you want. I mean, I don't know, you know, if a side chick necessarily gets respect or if she gets what she's asking for because she's not holding her tongue back.
Literally.
Right.
Sharice, you know, once I had a conversation with a girlfriend at work about this about a year ago, and I brought the same topic to her. We were just kind of talking about side chicks and wives, and I asked her, what do you think, and I'm going to ask you the same question, what do you think about situations where the side chick is not getting anything out of the situation, and she's not getting any money or anything like that. She's the one giving the guy money. And she's the one, just giving so much of herself and not really getting anything in return. And my friend responded by saying that she's just a groupie. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know what the definition of a groupie would be, but I think where the side chick is paying into the man, I think that maybe that's low self-esteem. If it's not low self-esteem, maybe she's trying to win him over by showing that she has more perks than the wife. But ultimately, I think if you're a side chick that's buying, or I will call it a paymaster, if you're paying him, if you're ultimately paying him to basically be with you, then if he does eventually come over to you, then is that how it's going to continue? I mean, I think that's, to me, I would think that's some form of low self-esteem, honestly.
Yeah. It does sound that way.
So you're comfortable being a wife, Cherise? You never think one day that, I want to be a side chick. I'm so tired of being a wife. Are you comfortable being a wife?
I don't think that you ever should downgrade yourself. So yeah, I'm very comfortable in this position.
But a lot of times, I don't know if you ever heard of a situation where side chicks upgrade from being a side chick to become a wife. So I mean, definitely these are possibilities.
But I would think in her private time and in her secret moments where she's thinking to herself, when will she get bun? When will she get the same type of treatment that she was putting in? At some point, if you become the wife, then who's replacing your old position as the side chick? Somebody has to.
Oh, that's very interesting. That's how I like to talk to people like you guys, because I mean, you bring the topic to a wider discussion here. So that's very interesting thought there.
Yeah.
It's likely because the same way you get a person is usually how you lose them, or whatever they do, in starting the relationship. And I think I mentioned this in the topic that we had last night about the Major Hype and Kirby thing. When he met her, she was involved with her kid's father still. He was with his kid's mom, or whatever the case was, and look at how things turned out. Look at the outcome for them. The way they started the relationship is how it ended. They didn't go into the situation with a clean slate, having just themselves to offer without this messy situation that was attached to them. It just kind of trickled and carried itself throughout their relationship. So yeah, that's definitely my thoughts on that. I totally have to side with Cherise on that statement that she made. You have to always wonder now who's filling your role, because you just graduated, you just got a promotion. So somebody still has to do the job that you had from before.
Right.
Yeah. So, I also, Cherise, I don't know if you ever heard of a situation where wife and side chick becomes good friends over the years. Like, over the years, they've become good friends, talking to each other about everything. I don't know if you ever heard of a situation like that.
Well, funny enough, I actually saw something on TV just yesterday, about this same situation. A man was married to a woman, and the marriage happened in the U.S., and then he met a woman from another country, and he went to her country and married her in her country. So he had a wife in the U.S. and brought his new wife, his second wife, to the U.S. So the role that she came in as was as a nanny.
That was a Maury show.
No, this wasn't Maury. It wasn't Maury at all. It wasn't Jerry Springer. This was real life. And so basically what happened is he brought the second wife into the household as the nanny. And so the first wife didn't know anything about it. When she did find out about the situation, her and the woman, they fought in the beginning, but they eventually became good friends to the point where they almost left him out of it. And so to fast forward the story, because they had become so much closer as friends, they ended up plotting to kill him, and they were successful. So that's just a situation, I think, and I mean, this is a whole completely different topic and just, I guess, an example.
No, but it's a part of it. It's definitely a part of it.
You never know when the side chick or the wife will become scorned, or you never know who's going to become scorned in the relationship. whether it be the wife or the side chick, or whether they're going to gang up on you and try to kill you. Who knows?
Definitely. Well,
Right.
that's very interesting there. But well, and another thing I want to actually share is this is not really a side chick and a wife situation, but also, what do you think of wife and baby mother? Do you think they should have a bond together? Like, you're married you have 6 baby mother and then you become married. Don't you think there should be a relationship with the wife and the baby mothers? What do you think about that?
Well, I think now you're talking about the rapper Future. Because he has so many baby mothers and not one of them are wife.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that there should be some sort of respect on the baby's mother side to the wife.
Yeah.
Not because it's necessarily deserving, but, you know, if you're just the baby's mother, you are, like, ultimately just a piece of his past. The child will always be present in the future, but your relationship is the past.
Yeah.
And so because you were not wifey or the wife, then, you know, you have to give respect where it's due. That's who he has chosen to move his future toward. So there needs to be a level of respect, I think, from the baby mom to the wife. And even from the wife to the baby's mother, you know, in respect of, okay, you have a piece of him. You know, it's just a level of respect. I don't think they should necessarily be friends or, you know, should just be cordial. It should be, you know, just okay, you had the position at one point of being somebody in his life, but you're no longer, so you need to stay in that place, and then I'm his future, and, you know, you should respect me as such.
Yeah.
As long as the child is being taken care of appropriately, you know, by the new person or by the wife, and also by the baby's mother, as long as the child is being taken care of the way they need to be taken care of, it should be respect.
I totally agree with
Definitely.
that. The wife definitely deserves her respect. The child definitely deserves the love with all the love they can get. They now have a bonus parent, if you think about it. So they have an extra person to love them. I think it's important, if anything, for the role that the baby's mother should have is to co-parent effectively with the father, and also to be able to, you know, get along and to co-parent to some degree with the baby's father's wife. You know, everything should be about the child at that point. Once the relationship is severed, the child is still there, like you said, and they need to be cared for and loved by all parties, by all adult parties involved, the mature people, the supposedly mature people.
Definitely. This is something personal. This happened to me. Like, Trace, I have a question for you, right?
Yeah.
You're in a relationship, but for example, okay, I'm using myself. I'm in a relationship, but with a side chick. While I'm in the relationship with the side chick, my wife found out, my expected wife found out about it, right? Then the side chick found out that I'm gonna get married. So the side chick DM you and said that she want to be a part of the wedding. What is your take on that? This is something personal, but this happened to me. What is your take on that?
What part would she like to play? Like, as a guest?
Sounds like she wants to cause damage and destroy the wedding ceremony.
Yeah, what role does she exactly want to be into the wedding?
She wants to take part, like be a bridesmaid or something. What is your take on that?
Oh, I think that she needs to go sit down somewhere, because her expectation to be in the wedding is like a fake dream. It's a real dream. Yeah, I think that's a little bit delusional, maybe psychotic.
Yes, like a lifetime movie.
Maybe a little obsessive. You know, there's a lot to say, but I think maybe a mental doctor might need to get involved.
So you think the wife would be a little uncomfortable knowing that situation, right?
I don't think the wife necessarily would be uncomfortable. I think the wife is secure in her position. I think the side chick is irrelevant, but I also think she's delusional.
Yeah, definitely. So you're saying then she could get invited to the wedding but not taking part. That's what you're saying. Or she must not be at the wedding, none at all.
I think that she can hear from her friends if the friends are close to the relationship.
Yeah, she can see pictures, see videos.
You're talking like a real wife. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't need a direct seat at the wedding. I mean, are you going to pay $50 for her seat? I don't think it's necessary. Or $80 or $100 for a tape for her place at the wedding? I don't think so.
So you're saying her time is expired then, basically?
I think that her time didn't even start. I think her ticker is off. Her time clock is off.
Definitely. They're really interesting is definitely. So Lady C, do you have any more questions for our host here, Sharice?
No, for our guests. No, I don't think I have any more questions for our guests. Sharice, we are so appreciative and we're thankful that you shared your insight. It was a very interesting perspective. I particularly love the term that you use, non-essential worker. That did it for me.
Yeah.
It was the non-essential worker part that for me.
Thank you very much for having me.
Definitely. We thanks for having you on our show tonight, Sharice. Hope you'll keep listening, and we thanks for having you again, and we'll keep in touch again, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Welcome back, everybody, to the Mixup Skoolaz and Lady C show. We have had such an interesting conversation during our show tonight talking about side chicks and wives. We had some guest speakers that shed a little insight on their perspective on the role of a side chick. My personal perspective, it seems like from what I'm hearing, that they just really provide entertainment, or maybe they kind of represent like an apple pie or an ice cream sundae at McDonald's. You really go there for the burger and the fries, but sometimes you feel like you want to get an apple pie or you want an ice cream sundae with your meal. So that's just kind of, my perspective and observation on it based on the topics and some of the words that were shared by the guest speakers today.
Yeah, definitely. Well, they have some interesting point. A lot of interesting pointers, with all the three guests that we have. They said their thing and stuff. But my thing is, I'm gonna always have a lot of respect for side chicks, because side chicks are really a part of my entertainment, a part of my daily life. They provide me with a lot of entertainment. Them do the things them do the things with the wife them now do. So I really have to respect them. So to be honest, I don't have nothing bad to say about them. I really respect and I appreciate them. The only thing that I don't like about side chicks is like they really don't know to stand their ground and stay in their places. When you're a side chick, you must be able to know your place. Don't overstep your bound. You have to respect the wife and respect whoever is above you. So
yeah, but do you feel as a man that you're respecting your wife to even have a side chick? You feel like she should respect your wife in your marriage or your relationship, but are you?
If I do respect my marriage and my relationship?
Yeah, if a side chick is involved, you feel like the side chick should respect the relationship and should respect the marriage or your wife or your girlfriend. But maybe she's doing what she's seeing you do. Like you're teaching her how to treat your relationship or how to respect it because you're not respecting it.
No, definitely. Going into most of these, what is the problem with most of these side chicks? These, or do I really get to that problem where you're having an issue? Because most of these men, they don't tell the side chick that they have a woman or they have a wife, So eventually, when things get bitter now and the side chicks start to realize that there's somebody else in the picture, then that's where it become a problem. Mm-hmm. If you be honest in the first place and say, hey, I'm married or I have a girlfriend or something, but we're just be here to just have some fun and just do whatever we want to do and go out and party, but nothing too serious.
It's, the sad thing is that, the man actually is putting his woman, wife or girlfriend, he's putting her in at risk for danger, a dangerous situation. I mean, to be quite honest, I know of a situation where a young lady was a man's side chick. She knew he had a wife. She knew these things, but she wanted him for herself at some point. And she went as far as to get one of her friends to stalk the wife, take off time from work so they can stalk the wife, find her, and bash her head in with, I think, a baseball bat or something in the middle of the street because she was so angry that, the guy wouldn't leave his wife to be with her. So you put your wife in a situation, yeah, seriously, and the girl did time for doing that. I think her friend did too. But you put your wife in a really at a precarious situation as well. So I really think that it can go left really quickly.
Yeah, that's a crazy idea. But I mean, when you're in something like that and you find out that something like that gonna happen, you don't let it reach that far. When you're in a relationship with a side chick and you see that she's very mad and crazy like that, you try to cut it off as soon as possible.
Yeah, you never know what somebody's emotional state is. And you really don't. You don't know how many times the girl has been hurt before. You don't know what she's been through, and here you are, another person hurting her again.
Definitely. Once you reach that point and you tell the person that you're in a relationship and then she's still pushing and trying to do everything to break up your relationship that you're in for 10 or 15 or 20 years, then it's time to let her go. You get me? Then you're asking for a problem there.
I just feel like the side chick role shouldn't even be filled in the first place, and it can avoid so much drama, in the outset of things. I mean, it's really a risk that you take because you don't, you're inviting problems. You're as Jamaicans love to say, you're bringing in crosses into a situation that shouldn't. It's no reason, no need for that. It's just a bunch of crosses.
But as I said, a lot of females don't comfortable being a wife. As our guest, one of our guests pointed out, that she's been a side chick for over 15 years and she's very comfortable.
Well, they should be with a man who is available but just wants to have a side chick. Why do you have to be with somebody else's husband or boyfriend? Just get with a guy who wants to treat you like a side chick, who doesn't want a girlfriend. If you're okay with being a side chick, then get with a guy who doesn't want a relationship, who's going to treat you like a side chick.
No, but you have to understand, when sometimes you see these things, the man who have a side chick, sometimes he have a wife, but he still want the side chick because you and the wife, the man and the wife have a business relationship. They have house together, they have cars together, they have bank books together, Side chick don't get house, and a lot of side chick don't get house in their name and cars in their name and all those stuff.
So he should do those things by himself without his wife. That way he can have all the side chicks that he could ever dream of having. Simple. Marriage is a commitment, and dating, as Sharice was saying earlier, you're preparing yourself for marriage. Your goal is to see what you're looking for, if that's what you want. If you don't want that, then just carry on the side chick thing. Don't get married. And everybody, it's cutting out a lot of drama, unnecessary pain and hurt, and even danger for you or for your wife or girlfriend.
Definitely. So my question to you, whenever we get married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you found out that I have a side chick somewhere in America or somewhere in Jamaica while we're married, and you found out about that, what would be the outcome? What would be your response to that?
I think you know the outcome to that.
If I hadn't known the outcome, I would not ask the Lady C. I want my listeners to know what would be your response to that, or the outcome of that.
My response to that, my outcome to that is that I'm going to leave you to your side chicks, because that's obviously what you prefer and what you want. Because if I tell you I'm not okay with that and you start that type of relationship anyway, even though I told you that I don't like it, I'm not okay with it, then, you're forcing me to accept something that I told you I don't want, and I'm not okay with that. Love or no love, it's disrespectful to me. And I would have to just let you go with what you're used to.
So what if you flip the script around? What if I found out that you have a side man on the side? What if I found out about that?
I mean, if you found out that I had a side man, the bigger question is...
You want me to forgive you?
I would want you to forgive me I guess, but the better question is, why would I even have a side man? You should talk to your spouse or partner about whatever the issues are with why you feel like you want an extra person, and try to resolve those issues as a couple, and not, go that route to invite unnecessary things.
What are some of the things why you think what are some of the reasons why you think females and men cheat? That's the reason why you have a side man or a side woman. They want money, they want excitement, they want other stuff.
So then you should be single. You can still have that type of lifestyle that you want to have without being connected or attached to another person where you could potentially hurt them. I feel, to answer your question, that some women may cheat because they're not getting enough attention, I should say, or maybe they feel like the guy doesn't do anything for them. He doesn't contribute to the relationship. He doesn't buy them things. He doesn't do nice things for them, make them feel special. Where, the guy, on the other hand, he may just want some extra entertainment, or he may feel like now that she has kids, she doesn't, get sexy enough for me anymore, or she puts more time and energy into the kids than she does into me. So then, okay, do things differently. Have date nights, have time where you carve out for each other, because you're both parents. You both should be as committed to parenthood, in that situation where, the other person doesn't have more free time than the other, where they have enough free time to go find a side piece, a little side action. So there's lots of things you can do. Communicate first. Communication is a very big key in a relationship. Communicate and talk about these things, so that way you can avoid, these things from happening.
So the other thing, you think pregnancy leads to cheating? Like after a woman have a child, you think, for example, you're married for 15 or 10 years, after you get 2 or 3 children, you think that your body starts to wear into the female body? You think that will also push away the man to go and find something new?
I mean, I can only say that I've heard of that happening. I have not been married or in that situation to say personally, but I have heard of that happening with people. I know people that has happened to before, so it's definitely a possibility.
Definitely. Well, definitely it's a possibility, but we just want to invite our listeners to just make sure you give us your feedback on the show. Just to call in and text in, and we also just want to see unique also on the show, definitely. And all the new artists on the show and stuff. I mean, all the DJs, like DJ Griffin, DJ Fresh Prince, DJ Plug. Yeah, we just want to leave up everybody. You get me? Also, we have a Lady C. You failed to tell our listeners that we have a YouTube channel. You can introduce them to your
YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. It's called Skoolaz Jamaica, Skoolaz Jamaica, Jamaica. If anybody would like to, subscribe, I think you'll enjoy it. It's an up and coming and developing channel. So far, it's, pretty entertaining. So definitely go check out our channel. Enjoy, follow, share, subscribe, all of that. And make sure you like as well, like the videos. But yeah, we definitely enjoyed the show. This topic tonight was a very interesting topic, and we want to thank our speakers that joined us, Damani, Janelle, and Sharice. We definitely thank you guys so much for your insight and your input. Okay. Definitely.
And before we go, we want to thank our sponsors. We have Skoolaz Jamaica Entertainment. We have Miss Unique Entertainment. We also have Big Yard Entertainment. We also have the Coopers Family Production. So we just want to thank everybody for their participation, and thank you all for your support. And we thank our sponsors, and we'll be back on here. We'll be back on here again, Cooper.
Tomorrow night from 7 to 9.
Oh, tomorrow night we have another exciting show lined up for you from 7 to 9. So, good night.
Good night. Thank you all for listening.